Hi everyone, and welcome to another Monday evening creating time with me. My name is Lillian, and I'm from Stamper's Niche. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator with Stampin' Up!, and I'm coming to you from Spruce Grove, Alberta, Canada. So welcome everyone. We have had thunderstorms rolling through here all day, and another one has just gone through, so I'm hoping everything's going to work okay. But that being said, I have a fun technique to show you tonight. I don't know about you, but do you sometimes look at these new techniques and go, ooh, that's really neat, but I don't know if I can do that. Don't know if I want to gather the supplies. I'm not too sure. Well, I think this is when you're going to want to gather the supplies. So let's look down at my desk and see how I got inspired to begin with and go from there. Okay, here we go. Going down to the desk. And I have got some designer paper on here because this is part of my inspiration. So let me know if you're on, and oh yeah, I guess I am on. There we go. So if you're here, leave a comment, say hi, and let's take a look at this paper. And at the end, I want you to tell me which colors you like the best. Now this paper is now I've forgotten, Artistic Expressions, I believe. And it has this wonderful marbling effect with the gold running through it like that. And then it's got this on this side without the gold. Isn't that neat? It just looks like it's splotchy, but it looks gorgeous. And here it is in the pale papaya, I believe. And then it's gold on that side. Then it's got the greens. Hi, Judy. I'm so glad you're here. I think you're going to like what we're doing tonight. And then isn't this rich and gorgeous? Oh, and when you cut this into 6 pieces, you've got 4 card fronts right off the bat. So just gorgeous stuff. And then look at this. Woo! And then the back of that is this. So again, it's got that watercolor look. And then this here, and then on this side, it is more like this. Now, I noticed that this look is everywhere, even in fashion. So I saw this ad and I printed it out just to prove that what I was saying. I've seen different variations, but that looks like that paper so much. So what we're going to do tonight is make our own paper. Now, I have seen different people, different demonstrators do it. And then I have my friend Karen Yeomans, and she did it, and she took some of the fear out of it. So what you need is some Stampin' Blends, and 2 or 3 colors are good. You need rubbing alcohol that is 91% or higher. The higher, the better. Mine is 99%, and you can buy that in the pharmacy department in like a drugstore, grocery store, or whatever. And then you need vellum paper. So I cut my vellum paper into 4 equal pieces. So you want the t-shirt? Yes, I want one too. I was just saying that this technique is right on trend, and I was saying that you took the fear out of this technique for me by showing it to me. So I just cut my vellum paper into 4 equal pieces. So they're 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Then afterwards, I will cut them down to whatever I want. And then you need a work surface so that you don't mind getting messy. And remember, our blends are like Sharpies or permanent markers, so it's going to stay permanent. Now you can use our silicone craft mats. They work great. But somebody suggested this, and I am so thankful. I'm just going to raise the camera a smidge. Hope you don't get seasick. There we go. There. So what this is here, what have I got? This is designer paper, comes in this. So all I did was I took my designer paper out, and then kept the cardboard backing in and left the plastic on, and I've got this really neat work surface. So there is my handy dandy tip for you. So what you're going to do with your vellum paper, you're going to take I'm going to use 3 markers on this particular one, and I'm using the dark of each color. I'm using dark polished pink, dark Daffodil Delight, and dark Bermuda Bay. Where did I get these ideas from? Partly because I like those colors, but partly from the designer paper. And all you're going to do is find the wide end. So remember, there's a picture, there's a brush end and a tip. So I'm using the brush end. So I'm taking my cap off, and really this truly is scribblicious, I guess is my word for it. You're going to take and use the side. Don't use the tip, but use the side and just scribble and randomly scribble. And if you're like a lot of us, randomly doing something can be a bit out of our comfort zone, but you can do it. So I've done the Daffodil Delight. Now I'm going to bring in the polished pink, and I'm going to scribble. And because these are alcohol based, they dry almost instantly. Now, isn't this looking attractive? Ha ha ha. You're going, Lillian, what in the world? Okay, and now I'm going to bring in the Bermuda Bay. And they can touch, but I tend to just try not to touch too much because I don't want to contaminate the tips. And once we're finished this process, if you end up with spots where you wish you'd given more color, you can always add it. But there, Scribblicious, yes. Now that was just right now with you. I invented that. So now we've got the scribbles done, just like that. Now I have poured some rubbing alcohol. I'm recycling all kinds of containers into an old embellishment container, because if I used this one, eventually it would get all discolored. So I put just a little bit in another container. And I have brought in my water painters, and I'm going to take one of the brushes. You can see the one that I've been playing with the most lately. Now you can use a regular paintbrush too. It does not have to be this. These have a barrel that you can fill with water and that kind of thing, but I find that I prefer to dip for this technique. So all I'm going to do is dip in the brush, and you can put as much or as little rubbing alcohol in as you want, and then you're going to go tap, 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 and then I'm going to clean my brush. Are you starting to see things happen? I'm being pretty generous with my rubbing alcohol, but let me lift that up. You can start to see how it's spreading, and you just keep doing that. There's no rhyme or reason. Now, my granddaughter, she was really into the reds and yellows this morning, and she loves doing this, by the way. I had to teach her after she had been in the red to make sure she cleaned her brush. And you just keep doing that. And away it goes. It goes spreading all over the place, and that's exactly what you want. And one of the reasons I'm dipping my brush so often is because the Bermuda Bay is discoloring the other. So I should just go tap, tap, tap. Now, if you actually did the painting motion, you would just end up with a muddy mess. You do have to just go tap, tap, tap. Less rubbing alcohol, you keep your colors more distinct. More, they bleed more. And I've been very generous here tonight. So let me just put the lid on there for a minute. Now, you can bring in, now this is just a thing that blows air that I've had from a long time ago, and you can now blow things around. Now, if you don't have that, you can use a straw and blow things around. Now, another place where you can get this kind of tool is where they sell stuff for your ears. So there's it's in the pharmacy where you find earplugs and that kind of thing. You'll find this. It's an ear syringe, I think it is, or something. Now you can see I got a bit muddy in some places there and not so much other. Now again, because it is rubbing alcohol, it will dry fairly fast. If you want to speed up the drying, you can bring in your heat tool and dry it a little more quickly. But I'm just going to put that to the side, and then you can see, yes, isn't that, then you can see how fast it dries. The funnest part is same colors, it turns out different. Exactly, it turns out totally different every time. So now I'm going to bring in just a few that I did ahead of time. Well, I had a little help from the granddaughter as well. Some she did. So let me just bring in a few. Well, no, I'm going to stop right here. There's one that she did. I'm going to put this to the side. That she ended up with a lot of white spaces. Now it's all dry. Can I go back and add some more color? I definitely can. Now she was using Poppy Parade and Daffodil Delight. So I'm going to add some more Daffodil Delight here and here. And then I'll add some Poppy Parade, maybe over here, like that. And she was actually being a little more stingy with her rubbing alcohol on this one. She does different things at different times, but I'm coming back. And even the parts that she did before, as soon as I rub the rubbing alcohol on, it's activated and it starts to go again. So you can do that. So this is the one where she was getting some murky colors, but she did pretty well for a 5-year-old. And this is, she loves to do crafts, and this is the craft she's been asking for recently. So go figure. There we go. So I told her she could help me prepare for my class tonight by doing that. So there, I just kept that to show you that you can add even once it's dry. That's just fine. And I'm going to now move that out of the way. Whoops, not on top of each other. And bring in some that I did earlier. And I am going to bring in, I'll use the back of this paper here, just some white paper. So this I did, this is one of my first tries. I have polished pink, well, the same things that we just did tonight. So here it is right here. So there's what it looks like. Let me just bring in some cardstock and show you the difference of cardstock, the different cardstocks in the background make. So there's when I put Bermuda Bay underneath. So like that, or if I put Daffodil Delight, totally changes the color. Let's bring in that polished pink. Again, it totally changes the color. And then why don't we just look at neutrals, black and white. It makes different colors pop, right? And if you're saying, well, what do I do with this gorgeous paper? Once I'm done with it, I've got some things to show you in a few minutes. Here's one that I did with just 2 colors. I used Bermuda Bay and the Retired Mango Melody. And it usually works best if you use the dark of your blends. The blends come in a pair. So just do that. Now, you might say, Lillian, what happened here? I have to show you what happened here. So, and I will. After doing it, I flicked bleach on and got those water droplet kind of looks. So I'm going to show you in a little bit. Oh, I was showing you colors. So there, like that. And so on, like that. So once you start to play with this, I have to tell you, it's highly addictive. So here's another one. Here's another one. So there's some darker colors, and navy works great, that kind of thing. Then the other thing is the back side. looks great. So not only do you have then you have to decide which side to use, right? Like that. So let me show you on this one how I got this look. So I will bring this back in. Well, why don't I show you on this one that's just drying here. Both of them are dry now already. So I'm going to bring in my rubbing alcohol and my paintbrush again, and I'm bringing in the lid. And this is all I did. I took and I flicked. I'm not very good at flicking, but what you're wanting is drops of the liquid bleach or rubbing alcohol, and doesn't happen immediately, but you can likely see it starting to happen. I'm going to stop there because you can see the effect that's happening there. So there, let me just lift this up and put some paper behind it. Can you see how there's another effect? Aren't the bubbles great? I just love it. So now, how do you fasten this onto your project? Since it's all well and good to have this fancy paper, but how do you fasten it onto a project? Well, there are all different ways, as you know, from working with vellum, that you can always put some words or hide the vellum or the adhesive in some way. Linda, I'm so glad you're here. You're the person that requested that I do this. So for example, if I was putting it on here, I could run some words here and hide the vellum. That you can also tap the barrel of the brush, yes, against your finger like that. Good idea, Roz. Love your ideas. Thank you. Love how we help each other here. So you can do that. You can hide your vellum. Some adhesives don't show so much. I know that when Karen was doing hers, she said that her seal didn't show when it was a light color, but when it was a dark color, it showed. I have found that the most forgiving, perhaps, is to bring in my adhesive sheets. So they come 12 by 6, and there's a whole bunch. There are 12 of them in here. And all I did was cut an adhesive sheet down to just a smidge smaller. So I know that I'm going to be cutting this down later. I also know I might be die cutting it, and I don't want the adhesive to be hanging over the edge and gumming up my die cutting machine or anything. So I'm going to decide, do I want this side to be the side I want? I want to use this side, so I'm going to put adhesive on what's going to be the back. Now, adhesive sheets are sticky on both sides, so it's like making your own stickers almost. So you can peel it back a little bit. I only do a little bit at the time. This is the sticky part here, okay? So I'm going to keep the rest here and line it up. And again, looking through the camera, and line it up and put it down, and then just peel that section off. I find my fingers get less sticky if I do it that way by using this as the handle instead of yanking it all off. Karen's the authority here. She's the one I've learned from, and she says they're the best. And I really think so too. So now I'm putting the next adhesive sheet down and going like that, and then peeling this back a little bit, keeping my fingers as adhesive, trying to say that fast, free as I can. And there, I have got adhesive on the back. All I need to do when I'm ready to use it is just peel off this layer, and it's all sticky. So that's what I would use. And already it's made the color nice and dark there. So let me show you a few things that I have done with these. Okay, so here is one. I took my adhesive like this, and it then stuck it to white cardstock, then cut a strip, ran it through I think it's called Meadows. There's 2 little embossing folders, Meadows part of it, and embossed it. So I got used it for the background here, and then I cut out some more for the butterfly. Now I knew that Wink of Stella doesn't play well with the rubbing alcohol. If I'd had it on the back side, it would have been fine, but I forgot, and I started to add Wink of Stella to the wings, and it started to move the ink some more. So just a heads up that some things don't play well with it. So there's that right there. Then this was one that my granddaughter made. She made this sheet, and instead of putting on white, I put it right on Highland Heather, and then some fresh freesia and black. And this is how I did, because vellum is hard to stamp on unless you use Stays-On ink. So I used Versamark and embossed in black. So this is a way of getting an image on here. So that's another technique. So this is just using it as background paper or die cut. This is stamping right on it like that. This one here I received in a swap from one of my downline. She did it with the navy and the rich raspberry, I believe, or whatever, and then fastened it to the darker, and then used a silhouette, a die-cut silhouette on top of it. So that's another way of using it. So it looks, you could make it look like the Northern Lights if you wanted on the back there. So like that. And then this one here, I just had the 2 colors. I just put words across the front like that, and added just one simple embellishment, and there we go, like that. You like the tree card, Judy? Yes, Carolyn Hartwig made that one. I don't know if you remember her or not. You could also add images by die cutting out words or that kind of thing. And again, I've put my adhesive sheet on the back, but I could have put that on there as well. So those are just some hints, some tips and tricks for using it. But this is a technique that I would say, go get that 99% or whatever rubbing alcohol and go for it. You just can't go wrong. But the only warning is you are going to have so much fun you won't be able to stop, I don't think. As you can see, I just have a few cards to make here. And Carly's going to keep me well supplied for a while yet, it looks like. So, but I wanted to share that you can how to use it once you've got it done. And those are just some ideas to get your brain going. So thank you so much for joining me. Again, if you are on YouTube, I'd love it if you would subscribe. And on Facebook, it's always nice if you hit the like button or if you share. And of course, if you do not have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and are needing to order product, I'm always happy to help there too. Linda, you're asking, is 99% alcohol hard to find? Do you know what, Linda? I don't know, because my friend Marilyn, who's also on here tonight, shared hers because it comes in a large quantity. But I think she told me she just found it at the drugstore, so or superstore. So I don't think it's that hard to find, but you might have to ask. I don't know. So what do you think of those ideas, folks? I'm seeing some excellent contents. Karen, you can't go wrong. Yes, you can't go wrong. And Marilyn found it in Spruce Grove. Linda's on the island, but I'm sure Roz got hers on Amazon, most pharmacies. So it looks like it's wherever, Shoppers Drug Mart, that kind of thing. Choosing the colors. You can choose colors that you like. You can look at designer paper to see what colors you like, or you could even look at a color wheel and choose complementary colors. But like I say, I found that the darks worked better as a rule. And I tend to like a bit of yellow in it, but that's not hard and fast. Neither one of these have yellow in them. So that's just a personal preference there. So I would love it if you would do it, and then if you would share what you do, because it's it what you share also helps us to be inspired. The other thing is that if you are my mind is wandering. I have a Facebook group, and some of you have joined that, and I put ideas there as well. So a little bit more happens there than here, but not tons, but a little bit more. So make sure to join the group. So glad I'm seeing tons of positive comments there. So people, go have some fun. And what did I call it? Scribblicious? Or something like that. So go have some fun. Okay, bye-bye.